Okay, that's the Pittsburgh Penguins. And hello and welcome, Peter Pfeiffer, of course, to the Puck Drops here, GPA grade ratings. We will, this evening, begin to talk about the Pittsburgh Penguins and their grading, as I put it, GPA of a playoff team, and how the players did, how the coaching did, how the management did, how all of this should be graded in a sense to evaluate. They had a good season, not great Penguin style, but it was good. They finished third in the Metropolitan Division. Overall, 44 and 26 and 12, and with 100 points. And they eventually qualified for the postseason. The win over the Detroit Red Wings late in the year, officially, but they had played well all year, and they went into the playoffs and met New York Islanders, where they were swept, of course, which was not a good ending to the season. But we will look at what happened, how they got there, and the center depth, as well as all other players in grading. And first, we look at Zach Aston Reese, young guy that had their system for a long time. He's played in Wilkes-Barre for now, but this is a second full year again at the Pittsburgh Penguins. Staten Island born and raised. 4 games played in this year, no points at all. Did not consistently find the ice, and a big disappointment. Nick Bjugstad for the Pittsburgh Penguins, one of the 2 guys they got from the blockbuster Florida Panther trade in the middle of the year, right before the trade deadline. 26-year-old center. He'll probably play for the Penguins for a long time. He likes it there. He played in 64. Hold on. Oh, actually, we read the wrong thing. Zach Aston Reese, he played in 43 games, scoring 8 goals, 9 assists, 17 points. Also not the great durability. But back to Bjugstad. We look at Nicholas Bjugstad. The games played 64. No points in the playoffs. 64 games in the regular season, scoring 14 goals, tallying 12 assists, and 26 points. Not great for Bjugstad. A few of those were with Florida, but a bunch with the Pittsburgh Penguins. Teddy Bluger is another center. He's a young kid. I really, really like this kid's motor, and he's insane. He's a rookie that was put in, 24-year-old. He played 28 games, 1 game in the playoffs, 28 games in the regular season, scoring 6 goals, tallying 4 assists and 10 points for the Pittsburgh Penguins, which was not excellent, but as a rookie, it's a great start. And you look, of course, at Sidney Crosby, the captain. He's been the captain for over 10 seasons for the Pittsburgh Penguins. 31-year-old leader had only 1 point in the playoffs, an assist, but he had an excellent regular season, as he is one of the Hart Trophy nominees, along with Nikita Kucherov and the Edmonton Oilers' Connor McDavid. 79 games played for Sidney Crosby. He only missed 3. 35 goals scored, 65 assists, a whopping 100 points. A wonderful regular season for him, as always. And his game excelled defensively as well. He's playing better than he ever has, but it just wasn't enough for the team. Matt Cullen, they bring in the 42-year-old again to play for the Penguins from Minnesota. And he plays in 71 games, scoring 7 goals, tallying 13 assists and 20 points. That's a good amount for a guy of that age. And then you look at Crosby's line mate, Evgeny Malkin. Gino, a 32-year-old center. He scored a goal and 2 assists, 3 points in the playoffs, but playing in 68 games in the regular season, scoring 21 goals, 51 assists, 72 points. It's a good point total, but for Malkin, the goals were way lower than they need to be. And he had some on-ice personal issues that we'll have to change to relegate. Of course, Jared McCann, 22-year-old center for the Pittsburgh Penguins. He played in 78 games in the regular season. He only played in 3 in the playoffs, and he only got 1 point, and it was an assist. The former Panther, 78 games regular season, 19 goals, 16 assists, 35 points. Good amount, but not eye-dropping. And the last center on the list, Dominic Simone, another 24-year-old that was on and off the roster in Wilkes-Barre. He played in 71 games over the regular season, 4 in the playoffs, only 1 assist, 1 point, 8 goals and 20 assists in the regular season, 28 points. It's a good amount for Simone, but I would like the goals to carry over at a more consistent rate if I'm a Penguins fan. For me, I put them at. I'm not saying that the Penguins weren't good, but for Penguin rates, I put them at a 1.8 because the center scoring has to be, goal scoring at least, has to be at a higher depth and a higher rate, of course, for the Pittsburgh Penguins. We go to wingers now, and we take a look at Jake Gensel. He got awarded a contract this season. 24-year-old forward, but he's already played in 3 seasons, 2.5 full, 2 full. He got 1 point, a goal in the playoffs, playing in every single game in the regular season, scoring 40 goals, counting 36 points, 36 assists, 76 points. Absolutely stellar for Gensel. Patrick Hornquist, the former Predator, comes in at a 32-year-old forward, and he's played in 69 games, scoring 18 goals, getting 19 assists, and 37 points, which is a good amount for Hornquist, but he who has been a great playoff player didn't score a single point against the New York Islanders in the postseason. Phil Kessel, another great winger that they've got that played well in the regular season. He played in every single game, scoring 27 goals, 55 points, 55 assists, a whopping 82 points. Kessel had an incredible regular season, but again, a down postseason with 1 goal, 1 assist, only 2 points throughout. Brian Russ gets put in as a winger, 26-year-older. He was held pointless in the playoffs, but in the regular season, he played in 72 games, scoring 18 goals, 17 assists, 35 points. That's a little bit alarming, but it can raise up. And Garrett Wilson, the last winger, 28-year-older, and he played 50 games in the regular season. He scored 2 goals only and 6 assists, 8 points. But he did score a goal in the playoffs, but not a great year for him. I put the Penguins at a 2.5. I really valued the wingers. The wingers had some great seasons, like Gensel especially, and as well as Kessel. But improvement is needed for the Pittsburgh Penguins. With the defense, Brian Dumoulin, 27-year-old D-man. 76 for the defense we talked about now. 76 games played for Dumoulin, 3 goals and 20 assists, 23 points. Good amount for a puck-moving defenseman. He's a good player, obviously. Eric Branson, the Ottawa native, they trade from Vancouver, former Panther and Canuck. And the Branson flows through with 76 games played, 2 goals, 8 assists, and 10 points. He's not an offensive defenseman at all. Most of those come with Vancouver anyway. So good from him. They take the ex-Blue Jacket and sign him Jack Johnson, 32-year-old D-man. And he plays in 82 games, every game. Scores 8 goals and 12 assists, 13 points. That is mind-boggling as still a good, productive puck-moving defenseman, playing every single game and only getting 13 points out of it. Chris Letang, another 32-year-old defenseman. The great Penguin D-man, played 65 games in the regular season, scored 16 goals and 40 assists, 56 points. That's very Chris Letang-like, and he had a good click going there. They take the D-man they've had for a couple of years, a long time through the system. Now he's been a substantial D-man in Pittsburgh, and it's Ole Mata, a 24-year-old Finnish D-man. 60 games played in the regular season. He only played one game in the playoffs, but he played 60 in the regular season, scoring a goal and 13 points. 14 points isn't very good for Mata, and he has to stay healthier. They benefited off of a trade the Pittsburgh Penguins did with the Anaheim Ducks, where they sent Daniel Sprong over and they got Marcus Pettersson. And Pettersson has been a very productive D-man for them, a scoring D-man and also a substantial one. He plays in all the games. 82. He scored 2 goals and 23 assists, 25 points for Marcus Pettersson. Good amount, but I'd like a raise for Pettersson. Excuse me. Chad Ruhwedel, another D-man, especially in this program for a long time. 28-year-old defender. He played in 18 games this year. He scored a goal, got an assist, only 2 points. That's got to change. Justin Schultz, the top pair D-man, 28-year-older. He played 29 games this year. He scored 2 goals and 13 assists, 15 points. Got to be higher for Justin Schultz. Zachary Trotman, 28-year-older from Indy. He played 13 games this season. He got 1.1 assist. I put the defense at 0.9. There were some great stories, but overall the defense was a very slow-moving, stagnant group that turned the puck over a lot and did not score like they should. So that must improve. And we take a look at the goaltenders. Matt Murray, big goaltender. He went into his 4th year in the National Hockey League. A 24-year-old or still only, very young man. He played in 50 games this regular season. He started every single one of them. He won 29 of them, and he lost 14. The goalie averaged 2.69, 0.919. Pretty average goal, average and save percentage. He's not the Matt Murray of his rookie and second years, but he's still extremely productive. He could get to that level again. Look at Casey DeSmith. Casey DeSmith, the 27-year-older, 3rd year in the league. He's backed up Murray for a long time now. 36 games played this regular season. 30 of them started. He won 15, 11 losses. Goalie average 2.75. Save percentage just behind Murray's at the 2.16. And then they look at who I believe is a budding superstar in goal for the Pittsburgh Penguins, the 3rd stringer, Tristan Jarry. And Tristan Jarry played 2 games and started 2 of them in the National Hockey League this regular season. He lost one of them. The other one was relieved by Murray and later won. One of those also went into overtime that he was currently part of. The goalie averaged 3.50, save percentage 0.87. It's not very good, but it's because he didn't play too much. I think he has a real chance to be a super difference maker for Pittsburgh Penguins. He is also in and out of Wilkes-Barre on numerous situations. I give it a 1.1 for the Pittsburgh Penguins. They weren't terrible, but they need to improve. They need to do better. Matt Murray's got to find that golden boy type game again for the Pittsburgh Penguins to win more hockey games. You take a look at coaching. And coaching-wise, Mike Sullivan, people give him so much of an issue now because the Pittsburgh Penguins have lost in the playoffs. They lost to 2 really good hockey squads last season against the Washington Capitals and just this against the New York Islanders. They've been top 3 in their division the last 4 seasons, all the times that he's coached them. The last 3 of the last 4 years, they were the 2nd team in the division. Pittsburgh Penguins are an excellent group that is coached and run the right way. And I know Mike Sullivan had some issues and character issues, and injuries, and all of a myriad of sculptures. So I give him a 2.8. I really think he did a wonderful job. But winning 2 Stanley Cups in your first 2 years, it gives you the legacy already. But to keep his job, he's going to have to probably string some better regular seasons together and continue with the playoff success. General managing, Jim Rutherford made some questionable organizational moves, like the Florida trade. I did not understand the Bugstad and McCann deal. Trading Carl Hagelin early in the year for Drew Pearson was strange. It was a unique move. It didn't really affect the Penguins anyway, because Hagelin didn't have much of an effect with Washington against the Pittsburgh Penguins, as neither advanced to the second round. But it could have. And trading that very same Drew Pearson to BC to go and get Eric Branson, a slower moving vacant defenseman, which is away from the speed. Very questionable moves by Jim Rutherford, but he's a good general manager. He's won Stanley Cups. He's won 3. He knows what he's doing. So for Jim Rutherford, I would give the props, but I would give him a 1.3, 1.5. I'll give him a 1.5 because he knows what he's doing, but he's got to make moves or quick, or his job is out, and he probably will end his career that way anyway. So he's got to pick it up. That's the GPA for that. A young player, Teddy Bluger. Got to watch out for Teddy Bluger. Only 24 years old. Didn't get too many starts, but when he shot the puck, he shot it high. He shot it hard. He's a speedy guy, emotional guy. Reminds me a little bit of a more emotional Jake Gensel. He's got the on-ice, off-ice personality. He's a perfect Penguin. I love him. I think he's a great player, and he's going to be so good for this franchise going forward. Player that's got to improve, and I really hate saying this, but it's Matt Murray. I was thinking if it was Letang or some other of these players like Malkin, but it is Matt Murray. Matt Murray's played good, but he's let in some bad goals over numerous games and numerous playoffs, and he has to. I still fear when teams go against Matt Murray. I still feel the fear in them, and I still think you should fear him. But he's slowly but surely losing that predatory instinct. He's losing that golden boy, golden egg type play for Matt Murray, and he's got to regain that. He's got to get that back for the Pittsburgh Penguins, for them to be a team to win Stanley Cups. So that's my thing for that. GPA for the whole team, I would give a 2.7, a great year, third in the division again, playing and winning and beating teams, finding ways to score, but not being able to win a single game against the New York Islanders is something to speak about. So definitely we'll look at that for the Pittsburgh Penguins. And there's that. I hope you guys enjoy this video a lot. Like, sub, everything, follow. Please make any comments. Please view and please tell me how you think about these videos, and please explain to me anything you want to talk about. Pittsburgh Penguins, that was the last one. The next one we will do, we're skipping playoff teams currently in it, and as we speak, after Game 4, a series tied 2-2, the St. Louis Blues will be skipped, and the Sharks, who have not been eliminated, will be skipped as well. So we will begin to be talking about, this one's going to be a dandy, the Tampa Bay Lightning, the 62-win President's Trophy team, the first President's Trophy team ever not to win a single game in the Stanley Cup playoffs. We will discuss them, so Northern Florida fans, keep in contact and pay attention. This is going to be a really good one. It'll be a dandy. So thank you, good night, and happy hockey.